Who else, guys? Happy Merry Christmas. Happy Monday morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 705 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. And yes, Christmas has come early this year. Wednesday, of course, is the trade deadline. We're going to get all kind of NFL stuff, all kind of Steelers stuff today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is the Two Dumb Yinzers. Mike, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. The news popped yesterday, and my God, some of the contracts that are being handed out. This DK Metcalf contract ain't too shabby. This is.
There will be DK and Darnold and Chubbs and Cup. There'll be good morning, Ron on the board. Good morning, Derpy. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I couldn't be in a better mood. Welcome back, everybody. Good morning, Derpy. What's up, brother?
I'm ready to run through a wall.
You got your ding dongs today?
I got my coffee. I'm ready to run through a wall. Yesterday was hype.
Yesterday was hype, everybody. This reminds me of when I was a kid. As I started to get a little older and I didn't believe in Santa anymore, my parents, they would always give me one present just prior to Christmas. Every year, sometimes it was a gag gift, sometimes it was a good gift. Nonetheless, every year, just before Christmas, maybe Christmas Eve, maybe the day before that, they would give me a gift. And you know what? We started our Christmas early, guys. Everybody knows right here on the show that we love free agency. We love the trade deadlines. We love the drafts. Guys, Christmas started early for Pittsburgh Steelers fans, Yinzers. Guys, but before I do get started, I do want to say this. We did, in another bad story this week, just this morning, from the Pittsburgh media. We just lose Mike Lang about 10 days ago, give or take. And today we got word that Craig Wolfley, the longtime, he's been in the Steelers organization his whole life. I believe he played with us. He has been on the announcer team for us in the media. But the Steelers did lose Craig Wolfley today at 66 years old. So all thoughts, prayers go out to the Wolfley family and people who may be touched by this. Again, Craig Wolfley passes away at 66 years old. Mike, once you lose Tunch, you kind of deal with it. But once you lose Wolf, now you got the whole side of your line gone, Mike.
We still got I forget who the other sideline reporter is, former left tackle, Max Starks. So he's holding it down. But yeah, you lose Tunch and Wolf. Those two, man. They got me through some Steeler games on the radio, man. Ugh.
Yeah, Wolf was great on the radio. No two ways about it. It's a different world we live in, guys. It's a different world because we grew up with Myron. Myron passes away. And then everybody that comes in and is on the media team after over time, we're losing them as well. But again, Craig Wolfley passes away this morning at 66 years old. Young,
very young.
Too young.
Too young, and it
my opinion.
And it came out of nowhere. They never heard any health issues about him or anything, and then boom, sucks.
I just thought, you know what? It's bad. It happens. But you know what, Mike, as we say on the show, they always come in threes. So I hope this isn't the start of a new one. We've already got, come on, it's March. Come on, give us a break.
Come on now.
It's Mario Day, Mike. It's March 10th, Mario Day. Some people say that. I don't know. They also say, may the 4th be with you and all these other kind of crazy things on certain days. But today is Mario. Mario, we have a special Mario right here in Pittsburgh. But today is March 10th, Mario, Mario Day. Welcome back, everybody. This is, again, episode 705. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I thought we would have things because people started moving the other day, and I thought, okay, the wheels are turning. Good morning, Spice Creation. Absolutely. RIP to Mr. Wolfley. But Mike, as things started to play out over the weekend, I'm saying, you know what? I think it was all started with Geno Smith going to the Raiders early on in the weekend. They recruited the new Seahawks in Las Vegas now with Pete Carroll, with Geno Smith. For a 2025 third-round pick, Geno Smith is off to Las Vegas. So, Mike, when this happened, I thought, okay, we're going to have some stories. We're going to have some things to talk about on the show on Monday. But never did I think, not yet. I didn't think that we're going to see this yet. I thought we were going to see this maybe within the next day or two. But of course, the big news that everybody is talking about right now is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They, Mike, we're getting DK Metcalf. We've been going over the list of players that could be a possibility coming in to fill that other wide receiver position opposite George Pickens, Mike. But at the end of it, when it's all said and done, we start the way off by making a big splash move again. Second year in a row. Last year, I didn't think going into free agency that we would see Patrick Queen, and I didn't think that we would go out and grab 2 starting quarterbacks, but we did. Mike, Omar Khan is cooking. The Steelers front office is cooking. We are still a little over 24 hours away from the free agent market to open up on Wednesday at 4:00 p.m. Tampering starts today. So many things going on, Mike. In the next 48 hours, I think you're going to see a lot of movement going on in the NFL. There's Trey Hendrickson's out there. He has read a couple places where he may be heading to, possibly. Mike, Myles Garrett with a huge deal with the Cleveland Browns. And as I said, we expected some things, but guys, it starts early this year. The ball is rolling. I think over the next 48 hours or so, you're going to see some more things happen for the Steelers. I truly, honestly believe that's going to happen. And Mike, I think by starting this path, by going and obtaining DK Metcalf, I think that creates a whole bunch of new other scenarios for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward with free agency, with the draft, with what it is that they're going to do offensively. Mike, DK Metcalf, where are you at with this? Because we did speak briefly, and I do know that there are a couple other receivers maybe you would have liked to have better. Maybe you could have gotten a better deal, but at the end of the day, I want my football team to win. I know this guy's a beast. Now I have 2 beastie wide receivers in DK Metcalf and George Pickens. Mike, what do you think about this whole DK Metcalf?
I was shocked that it happened, to be completely honest with you. I did not see this coming. I'll take it. The production is there for him year in and year out. He's kind of a hothead like George is, so it's going to be a race to see on those two who's going to have the most personal foul penalties. But no, I wanted some other receivers that would complement George, like play off of his style. You more or less have 2 of the same guys on the outside, but you know what? I'll take it too, because now it's a nice problem to have. 2 big, tall, physical receivers that can run and out jump anyone. I'll take it. Now this is telling me we're going to get a quarterback that can throw vertical down the field. So I know names I'm about to throw out, people aren't going to want to hear, but look for Russell Wilson to come back, Aaron Rodgers, or Sam Darnold. Those seem to be the 3 right now that would make the most sense for what they're looking to do. If they're going to keep George Pickens opposite DK, I'm going after one of those 3 quarterbacks because they can all throw the ball deep and they're pretty accurate when they do it. So it's shaping up. I think this signing is anticipating one of those 3 quarterbacks will be the quarterback of the Steelers.
Like, I couldn't agree with you more. I don't think that they make this move unknowing who their like to be their quarterback next season. I think that this answers a lot of questions. Again, DK Metcalf saying prior to this move that he did not want to go, and he wants to go somewhere with a quarterback that can throw him the ball downfield, which makes a lot of sense. You're a receiver, you get paid a lot of money, and you're professional. You want the best of the best of the best. And you know what this tells me? This move that we made late last night on a Sunday evening, bringing DK Metcalf. That's right, DK Metcalf is a Steeler. Tells me that they have something in sight for quarterback. I don't think they're going to go flip-flopping into a huge contract with DK Metcalf and not have something up their sleeve. And Mike, unfortunately, what you were saying, I think the first 2/3 of the people that you mentioned, the first 66%, I think are trash. I think they're garbage. I think that Russell Wilson, even with another receiver that you could throw vertically down the field, I think Russell Wilson at this point is still Russell Wilson at this point, Mike. Also, of course, the big rumor mill kicking out this morning that Aaron Rodgers can very well possibly be an option for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I think is a terrible idea. I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to trade Justin Fields for Aaron Rodgers, basically. The way that things are looking, the Jets seem to have some kind of an inside track on Justin Fields at the time, Mike. But this is kind of leading to where I'm going. I think that perhaps they may make that move for a quarterback over the next few days. And I got to say, I don't hate Sam Darnold. There's a few other options I don't hate as well, Mike, but I don't think that you could go with either of those two older men. I just, at this point in their career, you've seen what Aaron Rodgers did. You've seen kind of what he brings to the locker room with everything that he's just involved. I think he's a terrible idea. Plus, he's old. Plus, he kind of showed us with the Jets. What did they win? 3-4 games this year? Not loving it. But on the other hand, you might say Sam Darnold had a shaky start of his career at best. But on the other hand, he manages to conjure up 15 wins in Minnesota, which is a pretty big feat, never done before by a quarterback in Minnesota, Mike. But still, a lot of things have to happen for this team to move forward from what they have. And a couple of those things that you might want to consider, Mike, the offensive coordinator, the predictability that's being spoken about in the offseason about this Steeler offense, and also, all those other pieces that we do have to put in place here over the next couple months. Mike, offensive line, of course, you're trying to get that to be a professional NFL offensive line. And again, we're going to need possibly a running back. We're going to need maybe a third receiver that's going to gain yards over the middle of the field. Do we have that? I don't know. But again, we have a lot of things we're going to go over today, Mike. Derpy, everybody, don't go anywhere. We have a lot of stuff. Good morning to Tortilla on the board. He says GP and DK got to fight for the number 14. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I was gonna say all the memes right now are like, doing like the Step Brothers, when they meet each other. Like, you have to call me Dragon. Well, you got to call me Nighthawk. You got the people beating each other up, and one sitting there filming it. It's like, whoever the quarterback is looking for a receiver, there's DK and George beating up a defensive back. It's going to be entertaining with those two, to say the least. And, whether we win or not, it's going to be entertaining. And that's all I want right now. It's just entertaining. I'll take it.
Well, it's certainly going to be entertaining. There's no two ways about that. That's what makes me kind of question the move with just the style of guy that DK is, I guess you could say, as Mike, you compared him to George Pickens and their personalities. We'll get more into that maybe as the day goes on, the week goes on. But as of right now, we are fielding two starting wide receivers. There's no two ways about it. Spice Creation on the board says Pickens wants number one. Maybe he can get it now. I just don't know. The Steelers don't award number one anymore.
Number one. Yeah.
But you know what? I have no problem with. Who cares? It's a number.
Yeah, it's a number.
If he wants one or he wants 14, give him his number.
Yeah. As long as it's not one of the retired guys, who cares?
Exactly. And I don't see him wearing Mean Joe Green's jersey out there anytime soon.
You know what? Give him 84. Fuck it. Let him go full AB this year.
But a lot of people, Mike, that's what the common thing they're saying this morning is, well, who cares if you got DK, because we don't have anybody to throw them the ball. That is what 9 out of 10 posts I see on social media say. I think they make their move sooner than later. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if they drop the bomb and say that we got maybe a Sam Darnold. Maybe, again, a lot of people that are fair weather football fans might say, well, who's Sam Darnold? But as you watch his career play out over the past few years, I think he did decent in New York when he was with the Jets. I think he did decent when he was with Carolina. You give him a good team, he wins 15 games in Minnesota. So I think if you give him the pieces to let him go out and do what he does, I think a Sam Darnold could be a perfect match for what the Steelers team is doing. And then you could draft accordingly, Mike, what you were saying to me last night, making these picks early certainly puts you in a position to draft differently now. So, that opens up a whole new can of worms. I do want to say good morning to Yinzer Joe on the board. He says, what's up, Yinzers? Welcome, Yinzer Joe. A lot of great things happening today. It's the early Christmas version of the Two Dumb Yinzers, of course, getting an early gift yesterday. DK Metcalf, the wide receiver from Seattle, is coming to play for the Steelers for a 2025 second-round pick. He's going to be getting about a $150 million contract, according to NFL Network. Let me go to Derpy. Derpy, my man.
Yes, sir.
Do you like this move? And if you do or you don't, what could have been better, or what don't you particularly like about this move?
I love this move. I love everything about it. I mean, it means we're gonna continue to be aggressive, like last season, in the off season basically, and we got our stalwart, I guess you could say, to our swan.
Do you guys see Mike or Derpy, do you guys anticipate them going after another wide receiver? Maybe. And again, I know the name Cooper Kupp's got thrown around, and it's at some point,
I'd rather get Godwin.
Do you guys, and again, we do need a quarterback. We do possibly need a running back. A couple other positions, certainly the cornerback position on defense. Mike, Derby, and I know it's not going to be their top priority, but do you see another receiver of a high profile name ending up in the black and gold this year?
I don't. I think this is their solution. They're going to run with DK and George on the outside, let Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson fight for those inside positions.
Mike, I'm going to cut you off real quick. Wouldn't it be great if Roman Wilson could come along and be productive?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if he could come along and just blow our minds with what we have right now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that would be awesome because you go back, you watch his college tape.
He was a playmaker.
Dude can play. He was a playmaker. He's not afraid to take big hits. So you're hoping he just got overwhelmed his rookie year, and then he's going to come in solid, injury free, and learn the offense because I think he will be a huge addition on the inside there. And I think they're going to bring back someone like Ben Skoranek. He's not a wow name, but you need to fill out your roster and you need him on special teams. You saw how good he was on special teams. So I think that's the room they're going to go in, and maybe in the draft one of their 2 7th-round picks, maybe pick a receiver there. Because right now, if you're keeping George Pickens, you don't have to go out and draft someone now. Now, if they plan on trading Pickens, look for them to either via the draft or free agency to get someone else.
And this also, Mike, I think it really indicates to people what the difference between rumors and facts are. Of course, we go all over all the rumors. There's millions of things that are thrown out, but you know what? There's 365 days to talk about it. So we do talk about a bunch of rumors here. Mike, this 3 days ago, I think that we were talking about being a no-go because DK wanted to go somewhere warm. DK wanted to go somewhere with a quarterback. DK wanted this. DK wanted that. So, again, that just goes to show you, if you're keeping up with things day by day, it changes. There's fluctuation. Some days are good. Some days are bad. Some days are great ideas, and some days are just terrible. You hear terrible ideas. But at the end of the day, guys, we did, as of last night, bring DK Metcalf to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Very excited again, guys. Merry Christmas, Merry early Christmas, and it's only going to get better from here. You may see moves between now and Wednesday, but when Wednesday comes, you're going to certainly see faces moving around the league. One of my favorite times of the year, Mike. Here we are, smack dab in the middle of it. Just 4 o'clock on Wednesday, so about a little over 50 hours till the free agency market does open up in the NFL. It's going to be a lot of fun. Everybody stay tuned. Don't go anywhere because we're going to be covering this heavy all week. Mike, let me get into a couple of these messages before we do move on. I don't want to leave anybody behind, especially today on such a big day here in the Berg for Yinzers and non-Yinzers alike. Ron says, no, DK runs routes. Pickens doesn't, so he's not the same. I couldn't agree more, Mike. I'm watching tape the other day, and I'm seeing Pickens on these terrible routes.
Lazy.
That's leading to interceptions and coverage that shouldn't be against our defense and things of this nature. He has to improve now. He's in is this his third? Is this his fourth? What year is this for?
Year four.
So I expect we expect as fans things to improve. I don't think that that's an unfair statement. Also, Mike Yinter, what's up, Mark Malone, my friend? Yinter Joe says Tampa's expected to re-sign Godwin, but if he doesn't, it would be great to have him. Absolutely would. Spice Creations, she says DK agent said he never said anything about going. You know what? I read that last night. I heard that he said he never said he wanted to go anywhere warm. And then also Tortilla says if Roman can stay healthy, him and Austin could get a lot of targets. Defenses will have to respect DK and GP. No two ways about that. Yinzer Joe, my friend, also says that would mean the QB we get has to throw over the middle. There's no two ways, guys, no matter what.
Yep.
No matter, we have to get into the idea that you got to be able to throw the ball down the field at some point. Good morning, Kellerhaus, my friend. Everybody, it is almost Christmas, if you will, here in the Berg. I know other teams are getting their wishes. I know Cleveland's got Myles Garrett locked up forever. They imprisoned him. He has a no-trade clause. That's gonna be a headache down the road. You watch it, mark my word.
Well,
Myles Garrett turns into a headache in Cleveland down the road.
You know what? It went from I want to win a Super Bowl, I want to be a champion to you're giving me $40 million a year. you give me $40 million, I'll totally change my worldview too, Miles. So, I appreciate the hypocrisy, my guy. Because, when I saw that contract, I'm like, why did he sign? Then it's
like
like,
if somebody paid you $40 to be a communist, I'd be a communist.
I will be whatever you need me to be. Give me that $40 million.
Yeah.
I'll take care of me and my family forever. Smart move, Miles. Smart move.
Absolutely. He is tied up from 20 all the way up until 2030.
Ouch.
He gets a $123.5 million guarantee, and he has a no trade clause in his contract. That's Myles Garrett. So, whether you like, whether you hate, whether, we're going to be facing him at least for the next 5 years, 2 times a year. Good morning to Mr. Brian Pasquale on the board. Nice to see you, my friend. He says, will we have a QB taller than 5'8" to throw to Metcalf? I sure hope so. I think that the midget quarterback project didn't go quite as well as we hoped it would, and we found out that it really does matter if you aren't that tall in the NFL, and especially when you play under center. Tortilla says shit, he can afford a Super Bowl commercial and technically be in the Super Bowl. That's probably what's going to be happening.
That's 3D chess.
That is what Baker did.
That's 3D chess right there. That's planning ahead.
Yeah. Absolutely, guys. So the big deal is trying to stop these two guys. I love Pickens, but I love Pickens even more with DK Metcalf on the other side of the field. Corey Beavers, what's up, my brother? He says, feels like Russ resigning is imminent. I sure hope not. I hope you're wrong.
I hope he's wrong.
And I love you on the show here on the board, but boy, I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. I don't want to deal with Russ. I think it's time to move forward. And again, I think one of the better case scenarios will be Sam Darnold. That's just me, Mike. I've liked him from the beginning. That. I've seen the silver lining when he was on these bad teams, and I talked about that. And then he goes to Minnesota with a lot of weapons. Don't get me wrong. I understand he had mad weapons in Minnesota, but still, how many quarterbacks can win 15 games in a season? Anyway, so I'm kind of leaning towards Sam Darnold, guys. Spice Creation says Raven fans are mad because we got DK. They're, what, they do this every time we get anybody. They lose their minds. Remember, we got Calvin Austin. We got Calvin Austin in the draft, and they were crying because we stole him. And then last year, Patrick Queen. So that's only going to make that rivalry a lot better. And then Yindra Joe says, I heard Big Ben is willing to throw some deep balls to GP, DK. And if you've seen the meme, apparently so does Chris Boswell. There's a meme that has Chris Boswell running with the ball, and it says, hey, I'm just going to throw it down, or DK or GP will be down there.
I like Ben has in his house, has his playing day locker in his house. And that video was great. He had his helmet on and all of his stuff back there. He's like, Coach T, you serious? George, DK, Muth, sign me up. I got a couple throws in me. It probably won't go that far. That's the problem, Ben. Your arms held together by duct tape and chicken wire. You might be able to throw it 20 yards downfield. That might be about it.
So this is a few of a little bit of the scoop that I picked up this morning while writing preparing for the show. Rodgers and the Steelers to talk. Aaron Rodgers is in play with the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers organization is that dumb. I really don't. Even if you're able to get an Aaron Rodgers for a year or two, not that much money, guys. I just think that, you got to bring the age of the team down to a little bit. I think at the end of the day, as we're seeing in Pittsburgh, as we continue to let our teams grow older and older and older in average age, we win less and less and less. Mm-hmm. Maybe the Steelers will see that and say, this Aaron Rodgers guy, he hasn't really played too great since 2011, which is almost 15 years ago. So I think that's going to fly by night, guys. I would be very, 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 very surprised if Aaron Rodgers is wearing the Pittsburgh Steelers black and gold next year. A couple other things, Mike, in play here. We apparently made, I don't know if the word of offer is what I'm looking for, but I do know that we have shown interest in Sam Darnold as well, Mike. So that's out there. Things are happening, guys.
Yeah. I think it was who was it? Diana Rossini from The Athletic. Yeah. She was reporting that the Steelers are going to make an offer, or have made an offer, or will officially make an offer whenever the time starts to Sam Darnold. So multiple reports are saying he's in play. It's like they're trying to get all their ducks in a row. It's like handing out contracts of like whoever gets it first is, that's who our quarterback's going to be. So it kind of feels like they're comfortable with a list of 3 or 4 guys, and you're going to come in like this is what we're offering you. If it works for you, okay, cool. You're going to be the quarterback. So it sounds like they have a lot of plans in place, and they have identified who they want it to be, and they were comfortable with any of them.
Here's a couple of names, Mike, that I you know what? Let's do this.
Yeah.
I guess none of this would be anything if earlier in the weekend, I believe it was at the end of last week or the weekend, Justin Fields did decide he was going to test the free agency market, which I don't disagree with. I think that why not?
Right.
Oh yeah.
See what you're worth, see what people are willing to give you. And I do know that the Jets do have an interest in Justin Fields, but a lot of people prior to this weekend, it was pretty much saying, you know what, Justin Fields is probably going to be the guy. We're probably going to go with him. We had our Russell Wilson experience. Fields did well early in the season, and we're probably going to run with him. Now that's not looking well. For one, of course, DK Metcalf that took our mind elsewhere. But with that being said, guys, I know that he wants to catch some balls. I know that Justin Fields wants to test the market. So, Mike, I think situation a little bit more unclear as of where we sit right now. Because again, who knows? The Jets might love him. He might love New York for whatever reason, and they could give him a bunch of money. He goes up there. So, I think that complicates things. But again, Mike, I don't think the Steelers bring in DK Metcalf yesterday if we don't have somewhat of an idea up our sleeves for the quarterback position.
Yeah, I think they do. And God, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if at noon when the tapering period kicks off that it's announced. Like I would not be surprised if it's announced that Sam Darnold is the Steelers quarterback. It wouldn't shock me the way Omar Khan's going and how aggressive they were, and like how quick they got the deal done for DK Metcalf.
And it was so under the radar, Mike. You didn't hear him talk about it all day. He didn't hear them saying it was negotiated. He didn't hear the rumors starting that
it just happened.
And I like that.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
The fact that it was only for a second too.
Yeah. It was a second, and we flopped, and we flipped one of our 6th-round picks this year to their 7th-round pick this year.
It's the flip.
So
Mike, do we have any other 2nd-round picks this year, or is that our only 2nd-round pick?
No.
Okay.
That was our only 2nd. And then that's what's starting like rumors flying that, the Steelers are going to show up George Pickens for a 2nd.
Yinzer Joseph.
I say let it ride. I let it ride with George Pickens out there. And if he has a good year and you can re-sign him, great. If not, you let him walk in free agency and get the compensatory pick.
Yinzer Joe says Rodgers did throw 28 touchdowns for the Jets. That's true. He did. He did. I ain't gonna take that away.
He got better. He got better down the stretch, but I just don't know if he has how much he has left.
Again, we're looking for somebody. We want to win. We want to win playoff. I just I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the guy. But you know what? At the end of the day, I could be wrong. We could bring him. He could do great. We could. But right now, in my opinion, I don't love the idea of Aaron Rodgers. Mark Malone says, man, I still think even more so today that Mac Jones, Danny Dimes, Rudolph can distribute the ball to these guys effectively. Mark Malone said in Steel Draft Show. Ron Navy, he says, we don't need Darnold. He looked good on the Vikings because the coach, if the Steelers get him, we are not equipped for him to be successful. We have terrible offensive coaching. Rodgers or Cousins would be better. And then Spice.
Kirk Cousins.
Boy, he disappeared. That name disappeared, didn't he?
He was god-awful last year.
Spice Creations, congratulations to TJ Watt on the birth of his daughter. Congratulations to them. And Brian, over One Man's Opinion, says, I hear the Steelers are going to draft an offensive tackle. And why not? Let's just keep throwing guys let's just get another offensive lineman in the first round and see how that goes, right?
I was going through looking at because I forgot like what our draft picks were after the trade and everything. And I'm looking through and I get the site that has our picks. So I'm going down through and it was like, and it literally said the Steelers' number 1 draft need is offensive tackle because they only have Broderick Jones. Did everyone forget? Like we drafted a guy.
Our number 1 draft pick last year.
Yeah, he unfortunately got hurt, but was playing well to where you can see. Yeah, he's a bright future ahead of him. So it's funny just how people tend to forget. Which is what we actually have and stuff. I just thought it was funny, like
forget
how soon they forget. But we got him,
Mike. And another thing about this Rodgers, let me ask you this. How good do you feel if you get Rodgers from the Jets and the Jets decide the better option was Justin Fields and then we're going after Aaron Rodgers? You see what I'm saying? I just, again, there's many reasons why I don't think the Aaron Rodgers, I'm not, the guy could come in and throw 30 touchdowns. I just don't think he's the answer, guys. I don't think he's the answer. He's going to want paid, even if he comes for, a short term. And again, I think we could be using our money in other areas. Again, we may not have a running back at this time. I mean, Najee Harris is not signed with us or anybody else. You know what? And a name that I read a lot early in the weekend, Mike, was Nick Chubb, is a name that the Steelers could be very interested in. Bringing him, Nick Chubb, who, again, not the same after his big knee injury, but at the end of the day, this guy has 1 million touchdowns. He's a beast in the field. You pair him up with Jaylen Warren, I think you are a little bit more effective out of the backfield than you were last year, just because of the way he runs compared to Najee. So that's an improvement, Mike, even if he is a little bit up in age, which is another, thing that it's certainly that plays a role here. What's that, little Derby?
Yeah.
I said he could very well be our Saquon move.
I mean, I just think that they're, obviously Saquon and Chubb are just kind of in different areas of their career right now. But again, Mike, I wouldn't.
But the impact.
Right, the impact. And again, putting him back there with a new quarterback, a new wide receiver, a big superstar out on the outside. So, again, Mike, I wouldn't hesitate. I wouldn't be pissed to bring in Chubb. And they're not going to give him no long-term big deal. At this point in his career, again, with the injury he just had, I could see somebody like Nick Chubb being very valuable, Mike. And if that be the case, now, again, you could draft a little bit more liberally. You don't exactly need this guy right now. You don't exactly need that position right now. And you could get maybe a guy in the second round or the third round who could be your guy a season or two down the road, opposed to right now.
Yeah, and I hope that's what they do. If they are, I'm starting to talk myself into Aaron Rodgers, just because he's one of the best time to throws, one of the lowest in the league, and with our offensive line.
He's a relic, Mike. What happens if he goes in there? Let's say he blows out his ACL in the first game of the season. Boy, we're going to be crying then when Skylar Thompson steps out on the field.
I know, right? Put some respect on Skylar Thompson's name.
Which is a name that Yinders would have never said if he wouldn't have been brought on to the team as a third quarterback. I mean, Skylar Thompson's been in the league for a while. Not much talked about this guy, right?
No, he's a career backup. He is what he is. But I don't know. Like I'm preparing for the worst, and for me, the worst would be Aaron Rodgers. No, he was fifth in yardage, up there in touchdowns, but his quarterback rating was one of the lower ones in the league.
You also think he had weapons in New York, and it wasn't like it was just Aaron Rodgers in New York. He got his guy he wanted. He got Devontae Adams. He got the receiver at Ohio State. It wasn't like he had this terrible team. They were just a bad team. I mean, how much of that reflects back on Aaron Rodgers? I mean, the guy's our age, isn't he? He's got to be your age at least.
Yeah. Yeah, he got the coach fired, and then the team went downhill after that. So and you have all of his, focusing on the Pat McAfee show just about every day he's on there. So how invested is he going to be in? He skipped a lot of the preseason workouts with the team. You're coming in new. You need to get to know the guys. Yeah, you know what you're going to do. You know your capabilities, but you got to, build a team. You got to have some camaraderie with the guys that you're going to be out there. And if he comes here, is he going to be controlling like he was in New York? I want this, I want that.
He's Aaron Rodgers. Well, I've never seen anything that would indicate otherwise.
Yeah. Like Aaron Rodgers of 10 years ago, I would be okay with that guy coming in here and saying, this is what we're doing.
The guy was
okay. Aaron Rodgers of today, no, you're not that guy anymore. You gotta, you shouldn't be able to do that. Tell us what you want. We're going to give it to you. No, this is what we have. Does it work for you? Yes or no? But just looking at the stats though, I was like, ooh, punch those numbers in to look pretty good here.
Ron on the board said Cousins was 1 year removed from an Achilles injury like Rodgers. He will be better now like Rodgers looked. The thing is, these guys are getting older though. When you're in your 20s, those are, probably easy bounce back moves. You get into rehab, you get everything back to working shape, and then you get back on the field. You get these guys. As I said, I think Aaron Rodgers is probably Mike's age. I don't know what Kirk Cousins is, but he's not young anymore.
He'll be 37 this year.
Kirk Cousins will.
Yeah.
Yinzer Joe says we can't go with a quarterback that isn't versatile. The Steelers O-line isn't equipped to protect long. The QB needs to run around and throw. That's certainly going to be a situation we'll have to deal with. There's no two ways about that. P says Rodgers could get Tomlin fired for sure. That's funny.
So that's why, like, a lot of Yinters would want
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
And
yeah,
like, if
this could be the best move
if they
ever.
go the Kirk Cousins, if they go the Kirk Cousins route, he never won a playoff game, so he'd be the perfect quarterback for the Steelers right now. Put up some great regular season numbers like he does. Crunch time comes, he collapses just like this team has the past 8 years. So Kirk Cousins really would be the perfect Steeler quarterback.
Mark Malone says draft Caleb Johnson, and Mark Malone follows up by saying that Johnson will kick ass from game one. Then he goes on to say about Mac Jones, what we were just talking about. Brian says, I'll take Rodgers if he can get our coach fired. I don't care what else happens. Mark Malone says that would be a bonus. Spice Creations says Cousins throws far too many interceptions. You know what? I was never sold on Cousins, and I think now that he's getting older, that really helps my cause. There was something about this guy. He was never really a winner. He went out, put up mad numbers, and where Washington, everywhere he played, he put up some good numbers, but they just couldn't get it done.
When the lights were the brightest, he couldn't get it done. And I know the counter argument, it's the defense. You know, they would let him down, but when he would get the ball back to have a chance to win it, he couldn't do it.
He looks 37 to
winner.
Out there.
Yeah, he looks. Aaron Rodgers looks 85 to me. But if I had to take a pick out of those two, I'd take Aaron Rodgers just because he can get the ball out quick. He still has the mental acuity to process the game fast. But if I'm going younger quarterback, Darnold or Fields would be my choice. I don't think any quarterback out there is going to get this team to a Super Bowl. So more or less,
you shut your whore mouth,
quarterback. And how much do you want?
Let's see. Port P says Mac Jones. Just start the backup. You want a tank? It's cheaper. You know what? That's kind of where I'm at with Mac. I was never on the Mac Jones where maybe he'll have a big career and play to that level one day. I don't see it. I just don't see it now. Mark Malone says I'd also draft and start show. Mark Malone says, but I'd have a Rudolph, Danny Dimes, Mac Jones at the ready. P says Cousins eating way too many lemon pepper wings. Wings sound real good, guys. You know what? Everybody has a great take on this. That's why I love this time of year. So many things that are not etched in stone. So many possibilities. You're getting everybody's, you know what? This might be what it is that makes this team go to the next level. This might be what it is that takes the team and is able to get that win in the playoffs. This might be the team that, gets Tomlin back, and moving in the right direction as far as getting a little bit better every year as a team. So it's a lot of fun, guys. Again, DK Metcalf landed with the Steelers last night. I'm expecting more things. I wouldn't be surprised if sometime before free agency takes off at 4:00 on Wednesday, maybe we lay in a Sam Darnold. And I am not upset about a Sam Darnold landing. I'm telling you, this guy has game. He's a baller. And there's guys that, he choked in the playoffs, but guess what? So did the Lions. One and done. This is a very good team, well-rounded. So did the Packers in that division. Very good season. They finished in third, double-digit wins. They go one and done. I'm not going to put all that on Aaron Donald. The Philadelphia Eagles are spectacular. There's no two ways about it. These teams in the NFC, I don't feel that they're failures because they got knocked out in the playoffs after one game from the NFC North, our counterpart. So as I said, Mike, I seen the silver lining with Sam Darnold from day one. I like him. That's my opinion. If he comes here, I would be happy. If it doesn't, that's fine. But again, I want to get somebody that I believe that we're going to win. But Mike this goes back to the very beginning. I don't think they make the DK Metcalf move. I don't think DK Metcalf makes the move if the Steelers don't have something up their sleeve for the quarterback position.
Yeah. I get, like I said before, they probably have a list of like their top 4 quarterbacks that they want. And they probably already told DK, like, these are the 4 we're going after. Are you okay with any of these 4? If we make this trade, will you be able to play here with them? Because, we don't want to draft you or trade for you to be a malcontent because of the quarterback position. So That's why I'm leaning towards it. Like the 4 quarterbacks I rattled off, Russ, Fields, Darnold, Rodgers. It's going to be one of those 4, and I have a feeling it's going to be either Rodgers or Russ. And it just wants to be one of the 2 old guys, not one of the 2 young guys.
That would make me question the Steelers. At this point, if the Steelers would go out after all these options and get one of those 2 older guys, that would make me question what it is that they're doing. Again, you got to bring the average team age average down in any pro sport, especially when all the guys are in their early to mid 20s in this sport that are anybody. So let's hop on a couple of these, Mike. Here we go. We're going to start right here with Mark Maloney. He says Mike could embody the prototypical Yinzer if he just embraced the skull and handlebar. We're lobbying for that. Mark, we are lobbying for this. We're lobbying hard, actually. And Mike, you gotta work on this, man. You got to work on this.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Tortilla Jackson says Mac Jones, Daniel Jones. Screw it. Throw Broderick Jones in there at this point. I like that, Tortilla. P says, how many chances is Darnold going to get? See, now that kind of goes back to what I was saying, P. I say I would take a chance on the guy. I would take it because, again, he played well in the Jets. And I remember saying that when he was with the Jets, and they were just the Jets. And then he went to Carolina, and him and Baker Mayfield were there briefly, and they went out and looked damn good. And those are 2 pretty bad teams. And then to go to Minnesota again and put up 15 wins as a starter, I think that's difficult anywhere, especially if you're playing Detroit twice and Green Bay twice through the course of the season. Onto the next.
I was gonna say, like with Darnold, he finally was put into a situation where he was allowed to succeed. Went to a team that had weapons for him, so you can see what he can do, and it's just like you finally got the chance. And is this who he really is, or was that is that the outlier? Is that just the freak year that he had? Is he going to come crashing back down? And it's going to remain to be seen. And and that's why I wouldn't be opposed to bringing Fields back, because we would actually give him a full complement at wide receiver, hopefully full complement at running back, to see what he can actually do. If you go with Darnold or Fields, I can
get some pretty good wide receivers and a pretty decent offense in Chicago. I think we generally got an idea of what Fields could do. But again, I'm not against Fields. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against Fields.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think any of these guys are our long-term answer. I think the 2 young guys at Darnold and Field, they would be 3-year deals to see what you got, and you still draft a young quarterback either this year or next year, and have them ready to go along. Yeah,
Mike. This, I'll get more into this in a second. Let's cover a couple more of these messages. We also got Ron says Cousins has always been disrespected. He's the Rodney Dangerfield of quarterbacks. Yinzer Joe says Mac Jones, Cousins, Danny Dimes. God, might as well sign Tannehill. Ron, I don't think you're wrong on this. I do believe that Seattle is certainly going to be fighting hard, if not for Darnold, for a quarterback in general, because you just don't give up QB1 and not have something in your sights. I do believe Seattle will be fighting hard for Darnold, and if they don't get him, they're going to be hitting the pavement hard to try to get their guy. P says Cousins is the Bobby Bonilla of quarterbacks, and Bobby Bonilla sucked. I love that. Yinzer Joe, why would Darnold go to Seattle with no receivers there? That's true. They just emptied house. They don't have DK. They don't have
they don't have Tyler Lockett. Yeah.
They have Jackson Smith and the Jigba, of course, as Derpy will argue. Let's see who else. We also see no wide receiver. You laugh at them. Hey, Roger, what's up, my man? Roger Murray. He says if they bring in Rodgers, I'm shelving my Steeler fan card for a season. You know what? I don't think you're going to be the only one. And then finally, Mark Malone says, Mike, if you start now, it could come to fruition by mid-season. He's talking about the Scarlet, I do believe, Mike. The Scarlet is never going away. It's not going away here. It's just never going away.
No. If I get a Scarlet, I am dyeing that thing bleach blonde. Like
that'd be all right.
Hogan. Yeah, and come in.
Yeah. Guys, also, this is going to affect you, Derpy.
Oh, no.
Permanis, as soon as the move happened last night, they announced the meat calf. Of course, they had the Dangerous sandwich last year. They're right now promoting the meat calf. the Permane brothers. Derpy, of course, won the picks this year on the show. So, Derpy, you just might be enjoying a meat calf Permane brothers sandwich before you know it.
I can't wait.
Good morning to me for 24/7. Me 24/7 says trade TJ Watt and 3 first rounders for Josh Allen. You know what? I would do that. I am crazy enough where I would do that. I would take Josh Allen under most situations. And again, that's a lot of speculation, and we're not going to get entirely into it. But you know what? TJ Watt certainly holds a lot of value if that ever comes down to it, and you ever need to make a splash move, I guess. But Mike, so here's my wish list along the rest of the way for free agency, and I know it's going to go outside of this. I know that other positions that I'm not even mentioned are going to be they're going to be targeted. Mike, I like Sam Darnold. I like Nick Chubb, and again, at this age, you could argue, but again, what are we doing at running back? You have a pretty good RB1. The guy did pretty well in the first 4 years of his career. So I'm still not feeling, I'm not understanding what it is they're doing with the running back position. But again, at the end of the day, I wouldn't turn Nick Chubb down. Mike, in my luxury pick, my luxury guy, I would like to see Cooper Kupp in the middle of the field, which isn't going to happen because, again, you have a Roman Wilson who should be seeing a lot of playing time this year compared to last year, and then also you've seen the things that Calvin Austin could do. But these guys, they do need to play over the middle of the field. I hope Roman Wilson likes to get hit. That's what we need. We need a guy that's going to get some yak in the middle of the field, that's going to take a hit, that's not afraid of getting hit, and that's what I want to see. So those three, Mike, are kind of hanging in my my Christmas list bucket: Sam Darnold, Nick Chubb, Cooper Kupp. Again, bringing the age down. I don't know how much Chubb is going to help that. I don't know how much Kupp is going to help. But these are just kind of my my luxury pickups between now and the draft, I guess you could say.
I would love all of them. Like Cooper Kupp, if you can get him at a cheap salary, I would love. Nick Chubb's, I'd like that too. That'd be a nice offense. It'd be
he still runs like a Mack truck.
Too,
I mean, like right now, Ron is saying Chubb is injury prone, which he totally is. I get that, and his knees are held together with duct tape. But the guy still runs harder than 80% of the backs in the league. I truly believe that.
I think they're going to go running back in the third round. I really do. I think
I can see that, Mike.
Yeah, it could be Johnson out of Iowa or one of the two backs out of Ohio State, and they also looked at is it Gordon from Oklahoma State. Yeah, Ollie. They were looking at him. It wouldn't surprise me if that's the route they go and pair them with Jalen Warren and maybe pick up a veteran in free agency. It all depends on what they do with Cordella Patterson. Or they're going to keep him around or not. So a couple moves be made in the backfield.
Me 24/7 also follows up by saying trade TJ and 3 first rounders. Okay, it's the same message. Mark Malone says, "Yeah, man." Ron says, I think you can get Cousins fairly cheap. I think he would be successful. I just, that's what people say about Sam Darnold. We might need a mobile quarterback because our line isn't strong. I think that's where the argument really comes into play when you get to somebody the age 37 years old. Sam Darnold, or I'm sorry, who am I talking about? I'm like, Cousins. And I don't think that he excels in that situation. I just don't. Let's see. Let's go here and run. Okay, let's see. And P says, "In what run the wishbone? Run the wishbone with JA." Ron. Let's see. Me 24 says, if they bring back Justin Fields, they won't need a running back because Fields is a running back playing quarterback. Mark Maloney, he says, I would draft a running back. Here we go. Brian from One Man's Opinion says, according to Dan the Man, Metcalf's fantasy went down, and I'd like to point out that his QB was Geno Smith last season. Interesting. Also, Joe says Steelers needs Fields to run Smith's offense successfully. Sign him. And Corey Beaver says, I have a feeling we trade Pickens for a second-round pick now and then go get another one of these free agent wide receivers and then draft a wide receiver in the draft somewhere. We can't afford to pay Pickens now. Ron says Darnold took a lot of sacks last year, and Mark Malone says need young legs for the running back. So again, a lot of these things could happen, and even the very things that I'm suggesting, they could fall as early as now. They could turn around and say, well, this isn't going to work, or this guy's going here. And I totally accept that. Again, this is where we are in the season. Derpy, yes, go ahead and take off, my man. I'll see you tomorrow. And then also Gino's 100 times better than Kirk Cousins. This is what P's saying on the board. So guys, it's again, everybody has guys that they prefer. Everybody has guys, and the thing about affording people, Mike. I know they are putting out a lot of money on this DK move, but at the end of the day, we still have a lot of money to spend. This Pittsburgh Steelers team does, and I think that again, I think these next couple of days might be accurate.
Yeah, right now that we're projected to have $42 million in cap space. That's like that's just an estimate over that they have on Sport Tech, adding in the DK contract. Right now, it's sitting at 15th overall, $42 million. So they have a lot of wiggle room too. And if and
we're not, our hands aren't tied. Our hands are not tied,
and they can rework some contracts to free up more money as well. That's one thing Omar Khan is great at, is finding. Him and his team are great at finding money to spend on contracts. So that's not going to be an issue there to afford players. It's just how they get them in.
Yeah. Me 24/7 says, honestly, wasn't all the talk last season about how Arthur Smith's offense is ran as a run first offense? So why bring in anything but a run first quarterback with Smith? Corey says we still need a slot wide receiver. I like the DK signing, but we paid a lot of money for a one-trick pony wide receiver, but he's a vertical beast. We have been saying that on the show as well, guys. Also, Roger Murray says trading Pickens is counterproductive. We'd be screaming we need a number 2 receiver all season. Didn't we just go through that, guys? Spice is agreeing with Roger, and Ron says lowest dead cap money in the league.
It's like $45,000. That's all we have in dead cap money. Some teams have millions, tens of millions. So we're in a damn good cap situation. No matter who we spend money on quarterback, we haven't even addressed like the cornerback market yet. So that's going to be interesting too to see who we snag there, because that's also going to depend on who we get in the draft. Because right now I'm looking at defensive lineman and cornerback in the first round, since we got DK, and if they don't move, if they don't move Pickens, now if they move Pickens, it floats back to getting wide receiver round 1.
I just can't imagine they move Pickens.
You can franchise them next year, and you franchise them the year after that, and then you can be done with them.
I think the Steelers like the idea of having these 2 receivers of similar talent, and they're going to be that much more difficult to defend this year, because you're not only covering George Pickens, which was a chore, no two ways about that. Now you have to worry about DK. I think that works volumes in this, Mike, moving forward. Roger says we have Calvin Austin and still Roman Wilson. That's my argument. And especially if Roman Wilson's one of these, tough guys in the middle, like I'm hearing, Mike, that could answer a lot of questions as well. Then split the time with Calvin Austin, who's a speed guy. I think that could work. 24/7. Does any of these moves get it? That's, Pittsburghers, that's going to be the end of the day. That's going to be the Yinzer's question. Does any of these moves, does that equal a team the Steelers getting a win in the playoffs? I would think this. I mean, you get better talented guys, you should play better. I mean, that's kind of what common sense would tell you. But I guess as a Steelers fan, we've seen otherwise. Yinzer Joe says, just wondering off subject, is Derpy the Too Dumb Yinzer sponsor? Is he paying to be on the show? Does he pay your bill? That's why he can't buy batteries. Close enough. We'll go with that. Matter of fact, I like that narrative.
Michael,
a couple. Let's see. Also, I don't know if this is a rumor, which it very well could be, but I saw this as well, Mike. The Bears are. I'm sorry, wrong one. That Claypool could possibly be going to the Lions. Is that rumor, or is that? I heard that they were talking with Chase Claypool's in talk with the Detroit Lions. Which I follow him everywhere he goes, because it's fun to follow him everywhere he goes. He's been terrible.
Ever
since the 6th game of his career, Mike. He's been terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a steady downhill decline since then. My God, I'm surprised he's still bouncing around the league. The film's out there; it doesn't lie. He's not good. He's not good. He has failed to maximize his potential, and you're never going to get it out of him.
What a disappointment with that guy.
Oh my! All the talent in the world. He could have been a
Because those
damn
first 6
good
games, Mike,
receiver.
he was catching, he was running, he was reversing, he was scoring touchdowns. I remember he got a lot of touchdowns in those first few games. What a shame.
7 touchdowns in 7 games or some shit like
Yes,
that.
something similar to
He
that.
had, and you're like, oh my God, we got a guy. We got our plex. We got our big play receiver that we were missing ever since Tone left and AB left, and then he just wasted it all away.
Also around the league, Mike, the Bears are favorites to trade for Hendrickson from the sack leader, of course, from the Bengals this year. The Raiders. So I mean, there are a few different teams that are interested. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I guess they were talking to the Raiders too. I thought to myself after I said it, wow, they have Max Crosby. Could you imagine Max Crosby and Hendrickson rushing the QB down there? But that is a rumor as of right now that the Bears are favorites, Mike, to trade for Hendrickson.
Good, get him out of the division. Let him go there, and that would be a good pick for the Bears. They need some guy on the outside there.
They put a nice little team together.
And they addressed their offensive line issues since they didn't address it last year. They went after all the flashy skill positions and realized, we kind of have to give our quarterback some time to throw the ball.
We talk about the ups. We also talk about the downs here on the show. Mike, Kansas City young wide receiver Xavier Worthy arrested in Texas on family violence charges going into the weekend. And then also I seen in an interview, Pac-Man Jones, he admits to using somebody else's urine back in the day to pass a drug test. Just a couple of things. We like to talk the good. We will also talk the negative as well.
And the Xavier Worthy one too dropped immediately as well when evidence was shown that it was looking like his side of the story was true and the charges against him were dropped.
Oh, good. Justice prevailed. And at the end of the day, that's what truly matters.
Yeah.
Tortilla Jackson says Derpy signs a $100 million contract with the Two Dumb Yinzers, expected to be QB1. Beep. Ron says bring in a veteran QB, then make a trade with the Lions to get Hendon Hooker. So he's an
we need another tight end.
Yeah, we definitely need another tight end on this team, right? Let me see what else, Mike. We are closing in on the hour mark. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
The2dumbYinzers.com. Check it out, everyone. Got the merch store over there. God, I should start selling batteries over there and directing Derpy over there. We got the blog. A new one will be up today with an updated mock draft, factoring in the big trade of DK Metcalf. So check it out at the2dumbYinzers.com.
And it ain't gonna stop, guys. Keep an eye peeled, on your phone, if you're at work, if you're out and about, whatever you're doing, because again, it could get very active this week for sure. Over the next couple days, trades, and then again, free agency kicks off 4:00 on Wednesday. Tampering starts today, guys. It's going to be a big week, all week long. I hope you stay tuned with us. We're going to be talking all about players moving, faces moving, who's getting better, who's getting worse, who belongs here, who doesn't belong there. Guys, I didn't know what the tight end
I was thinking
for
some odd reason I was thinking Hooper. Hooper's a tight end somewhere in the NFL. And I heard Hendon Hooker.
I was right there with you, Ron. I didn't know
he's the 95. He's he was a 25-year-old rookie backup quarterback. He's 27 now. No.
So go check out the website, www.the2dumbYinzers.com. That's www.the2dumbYinzers.com. Mike got new stuff up there all the time now. Go check it out. A lot of cool stuff, everybody. www.the2dumbYinzers.com. A little bit through some other Pittsburgh sports throughout the weekend, Mike. The Pitt Panthers basketball team, they finished up their season with a 93-67 win over Boston College. They'll be back in action tomorrow for the first game of the ACC tournament as they take on Notre Dame again at 2:00 p.m. tomorrow. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they drop a game to the Las Vegas Golden Knights on Friday night 4-0, but they rebounded yesterday by getting a win over the Minnesota Wild 3-1. Penguins, their next game is against Las Vegas, this time at home. That game is tomorrow at 10 o'clock p.m. 7 o'clock p.m., sorry. And also, Mike, the Pittsburgh Pirates, through the weekend, they get a win over the Phillies on Friday. They lose to the Braves yesterday. They lost to the Tigers. Also, over the weekend, they play the Orioles today at 6:05 in the Grapefruit League. And finally, Mike, these teams from our county, more teams from the Whippeal in high school state basketball did win, but for our particular county where we're at, Aliquippa boys, Beaver boys, Aliquippa girls, Southside, and Blackhawk all advanced in the first round of the state playoffs starting this weekend. So we wish good luck to all those teams. And again, all the teams from Western Pennsylvania that are outside of our county as well. Sorry about that. Let me see if I do got anything else up here, Mike. I don't. So let's go ahead and hop to the trivia of the day. Question of the day, Mike. Put your thinking caps on. Everybody on the board, everybody at home. Question of the day. This is a Steelers defense question. A Steelers defense question. Here we go. Which Steeler leads the team in all-time tackles? Which Steeler defensive player leads the Pittsburgh Steelers all-time in tackles? Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every day right here on YouTube. Don't hesitate to put some thoughts up on the board if you think you know the answer, guys. Which Steeler defensive player leads the team in all-time tackles? Mike, any thoughts? Any thought process on this question?
Oh God, there's a lot. There's a lot.
We're a great defensive team. It could really be a lot of people.
You will say, okay, 4-3 middle linebackers get a lot of tackles. Lambert was the middle linebacker in our 4-3, but you got to figure all the other Hall of Famers around him scooping up tackles. So I'm not taking him. James Farrier was a tackling machine for a long ass time. Mean Joe Green's a good one. LC Greenwood's a good one to guess. God, fuck it.
It's got to be somebody that spent some time. They spent some time in town because of all those defensive players you named. And I'm seeing some great ones on the board right now. Tortilla says Jack Lambert. Spice is saying Jack Lambert. P is saying Troy Polamalu. Mike, I mean, there's a lot of players to choose from.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Potty. Give me James Farrier. James Farrier.
That's an odd pick out of all those players. But you know what? I will take that. And I will ask you, Mike, is that your final answer?
Because he was racking up tackles left and right like crazy.
Okay. Mike is saying James Farrier is his final answer. Again, we have Jack Lambert on the board. We have Troy Polamalu on the board. Mark Malone saying Cam Hayward's got to be up there. The guy was here for a million years. He's got to have some tackles. Again, guys, the question of the day, daily trivia on the Two Dumb Yinzers is which Steeler leads the all-time in tackles on this team? I'm seeing Polamalu. Ron says Polamalu. Hayward, Polamalu, Lambert. Mike says James Farrier. I'll give it another minute in case anybody else wants to throw any ideas that they have on the board. Any guesses, if you will. Which Steeler leads the Pittsburgh Steelers all time in tackles? I'll give you a hint, guys. Ready? Ron's also saying probably Jack Ham. The hint is it's 740 tackles. That's how many tackles that this person has. And I'll give you another hint to that. The second place has 677. So this person has about 63 more tackles in their career than the second guy. One more time. Which Steeler leads the team with all-time tackles? Guys, the answer to the question, 740 tackles in their career, leads all time of all the great Steeler defensive players, Mike, is no one other than James Farrier.
Boom, baby.
Number 2 with 677. Who was that?
No idea.
Lawrence Timmons.
Oh, his running mates. Damn.
577 is the third amount, Troy Polamalu.
Holy shit.
And finally, the fourth most has the fourth most tackles for the Steelers guys is James Harrison with 554. So Potsy is first, James Ferrier, Lawrence Timmons, Troy Polamalu, and Harrison in that order, guys.
Wow.
So a lot of tackles, Mike, and those are the more recent teams. Those aren't your Steelers Steel Curtain 70s teams. So, these guys are tough.
Yeah, and that was showing me that front three of Casey Hampton, Aaron Smith, and whoever we felt to throw out at the opposite tackle of rotating between Diesel and
it was Diesel. What are you talking about?
And we had what's his name? The guy who killed Carson Palmer. He was out there too. But that was showing me that front three. Chemo, yeah. That front three was eating up a shit ton of blocks and allowing Timmons and Ferrier to just destroy everything the way the 3-4 is supposed to be ran. I wish we had a front three like those three again. So our middle linebackers can just rack up a shit ton of tackles.
Tortilla says, "Damn, Timmons had more than Harrison. That's crazy." The thing about Timmons, he's a middle guy. He's involved in every play. Yeah. That's one thing I did notice. Timmons, it was a lot like Levon Kirkland from the 90s, just being in a middle linebacker. Yep. He was involved with so much. Spice said Lambert had more than that, huh? Harrison would have been my second guess, Tortilla says. And yes, Mark Malone, that Chemo Von Oelhoffen, the Aaron Smith, and Casey Hampton. Yeah, what happened? Where did Diesel come in? Was Kiesel?
He was a late round pick. He was like another 6th round, 7th round guy back in the day, and he would rotate in and out.
Yeah, because I know he was a fan favorite eventually.
He was a fan favorite. I think he eventually became the starter in that second Super Bowl run.
That sounds right.
Yeah, because Chemo was on the first one, and then Diesel came in after.
Let's see. Well, we do it 5 to 7 times a game. Mark Malone. Okay, he's talking about the 3-man front. Mike, my extra story of the day is this. A Pokemon-shaped flaming hot Cheeto named Cheetozard sold for $87,840 at a recent auction. Mike, a Pokemon-shaped flaming hot Cheeto that the guy named Cheetozard. It's like getting the the Elvis pit stain in your shirt, or that's what this guy did, and he sold this one single Cheeto for almost $90,000. Mike, gotta love it, baby. You gotta love America.
He's living the dream, baby.
For a Cheeto.
Hey, that's good work if you can get it.
Absolutely. What about you, man? Anything before we do get ready to wrap it up for today? Unfortunately, I'd like to do this all day with everything. Matter of fact, Derpy even said that Godwin's out of the question. I didn't even go into what he told us, Mike.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, Chris Godwin signs back 3 years, $66 million, $44 million guaranteed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's going to be a Buccaneer for life.
All right, there you go. Godwin is a Buccaneer for life. A few other things. Mark says it sounds like a derpy type transaction. He's still trying to figure out how to trade the money for the 9-volt battery. That seems to be eluding him. Good money in the midgets too. Mark Malone says. So a couple of things, guys, to wrap things up for today. We do want to give all of our thoughts out to the family and friends of Mr. Craig Wolfley. Passes away this morning. One of the voices of the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you listen to the Steelers on the radio here in Pittsburgh, you heard Craig Wolfley week after week, and he had passed away this morning at 66 years old, a former offensive lineman for the Steelers, been a career Steeler guy, has always been here. We're going to miss him. And, yeah, P, who says the economy's tanking when you could buy a Cheeto for $90,000, right? So that is...
That's the economic indicator we're looking for.
Yeah, that's right.
Novelty Cheetos. How much are they selling for?
But the yes, Craig Wolfley, everybody. Yes. Unfortunate. It's a tough year for the Pittsburgh media. Mike Lang just about a week and a half ago again. And Craig Wolfley today. You hate to hear it, Mike. It's all these Steeler guys. Again, Tunch Ilk a few years back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Derpy was touch and go there for a while too. He could have been in that Pittsburgh media list.
That's right. If he get a new smoke detector.
I know, Jesus God,
it's holding him back. Also, it's going to be 70s, guys. The end of the week here in Western PA. We are looking at 70s, 70 plus going into the weekend. Mike, you know what that spells? That spells Speedo weather.
Speedos, baby.
That's coming up here at the end of the week, guys. Also, as I said, as far as Pittsburgh sports games, the Pirates back at it today at 6:05. They will be playing the Baltimore Orioles. Penguins will be back tomorrow facing the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Pitt Panthers again tomorrow will be playing their first round game in the ACC tournament. I do want to say good luck and congratulations as well to those state high school basketball teams that won over the weekend. Good luck moving forward. And again, guys, DK Metcalf is a Pittsburgh Steeler. That's going to bring up some moods. I know it brought mine up. I was chomping at the bit to get at it today. I got to be honest with you. Once I seen that, and now, like I said, I'm kind of thinking that you may see some more moves before free agency opens up on Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. So we're going to be on top of that heavy this week, and make sure to you join us all week long. This is what we're going to be hitting hard. This is one of our favorite parts of the year. Tortilla says, I'm getting a job at the Cheeto factory to find myself a Cheetozard. I like the way that Tortilla thinks. I really do. And then Mark Malone says, do rags and scarlet weather. Mike, that is right up your alley. The scarlet,
it is, baby.
Is not going to go away. I'm going to tell you.
It's not. It's becoming a fan favorite with Scarlet.
It sure is. And also, guys, you could also, I don't know if it's ready yet, but you could also go to your favorite Pittsburgh place to eat, the Permani Brothers, and get yourselves a meat calf, a meat calf sandwich named already for DK Metcalf. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. It's as I said, this week's a big one. We got an early Christmas present. We're just anticipating what's happening next. We're anticipating what Wednesday is going to bring. We're anticipating what's going to go down for our Pittsburgh Steelers. And guys, every day, join us. We'll be right here, deep and heavy into it all week long for sure, as every big news story comes out. Also, not just with us, the Black and Gold, but around the NFL as well. Let me grab P before we take off here. P says, people with 90 G's to spend on a Cheeto have a low life battery expectancy, or low life expectancy. Sorry, better hurry, Derpy. If that in fact was pointed at Derpy. Mike, anything else before we roll, brother?
I got nothing, man. I just the legal tampering window has opened, so oof.
This is like
keep an eye
in
out.
Your mom's room and seeing what the Christmas
Day. Yeah, I know. And like, and Twitter's down. Apparently, I am having trouble getting in, so to follow along with it. So this is kind of rough right now.
Interesting. And also, I do want to say thank you, everybody. I really do want to say thank you to everybody today for coming and hanging out and checking us out. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. We really, really do. I want to say we couldn't do it without you. We want to thank everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the Two Dumb Yinzers. Everybody tuning in abroad. People just on their way to work, maybe at the workplace, listening to the Two Dumb Yinzers. Thank you, everybody. Mike, if that's it, my man, speak now, forever hold your peace, brother.
That's it, man. That's all I got. Hopefully, by the time we're on tomorrow, there'll be breaking news that the Steelers have signed more players.
I got
my
a
favorite
suspicion.
time of the year.
I got a suspicion, guys. So pay attention.
I know. We're all giddy, and hopefully the dopamine keeps coming with these signings.
This is again what you're missing out on if you're just a football fan that likes to watch the game. You miss out on all this stuff. I think this is some of the funnest stuff of the year. But again, guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. We truly do appreciate you. Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time. We'll be hitting hard all week. So we do hope to see you tomorrow, everybody. We thank you so much.